Hey subscribers, today you're going to learn how to make Greek Dolmades, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Welcome back subscribers and visitors. Hopefully you'll enjoy this video enough to subscribe if you haven't already. Today we're going to make Greek Dolmades. I'm going to take you through this process. It's not that difficult, a little time consuming, but fairly easy and fun to make. Here are the ingredients we're going to need. First, some rice. I'm going to use about 1.5 cups of rice. A jar of grape leaves. I happen to use this brand here, Orlando. A can of tomato sauce. Well, we'll not use the whole can, but you need this can nonetheless. Some fresh dill, not dried dill that you'll find in a shaker. We need all fresh ingredients here. Fresh dill. You need fresh Vidalia or sweet onion. Scallions. I'm using a leek. You'll need lemons and fresh parsley. So the first thing we're going to do is start chopping our ingredients here. And before I get to that, I just want to tune up my knife on this drop block. Make sure it's razor sharp. And I have a whole knife sharpening tutorial that you can see if you haven't already. I'll put the link down below. This is the fourth step in my process to sharpen a knife. It's pretty much razor sharp already, but this just tunes it up and gets it razor sharp. I'm going to start with the onions, and I want to dice everything as finely as possible, and I'm going to put them into this saute pan. So you don't want to chop up the white portions at the back, just the green, and we'll put that inside. Notice I'm using the back of my knife to scrape this in here. You don't want to dull your blade. And if you have a really good knife like I do, you only want to do this on a wood cutting board, never plastic. So now we're going to take a leek, and for the leek though, this is the part we do want to cut, this here, okay? The only thing you need to make sure of is that you wash this out completely. I'm going to do that in the sink right now. I won't have you watch that, but leeks, you know, they do get a lot of dirt inside when they grow, so you want to make sure you wash this out completely. Okay, before I chop everything, while I'm chopping everything else, I'm going to put a little olive oil in here and get this on a low flame and start to sweat this down just a little bit. Next, I'm going to chop up the parsley. The only things that I will say are, the only thing that's critical when it comes to the accuracy of this recipe would be the amount of time you cook the rice for, because you do not want mushy rice, okay? And then how you roll them because you do not want them falling apart. Those are the two most critical things to me, but you know, the amount of parsley, onion, and all of that is really up to you, but you can see what I'm doing here if you want to follow this. Okay, so now the dill, same thing. We don't want the sticks. And just to give you a time check, although you're not watching every second that I'm doing this, I've been working on this for about 30 minutes so far. Now we want to add the juice of 1 lemon. Opening the can of tomato sauce, I'm going to put about half of the can. And then salt and pepper. Again, salt and pepper is up to you too, however, how much you think you want. Okay. Now I'm going to measure out 1.5 cups of rice. This is 1 cup. Even this isn't exact. You know, the original recipe called for 1 cup, but I was finding that I was running out of mixture before I was running out of grape leaves. So I started adding rice and just making the batch larger. There's 1.5 cups. Happen to use Uncle Ben's original for this. I kind of prefer that one. No, they're not paying me. I'm just telling you it works for me. And so what I want to do is stir this up, put it back on the stove for just a couple of minutes, sweat this together, and then we're ready to stuff the grape leaves. Now we want to open up the jar of grape leaves. That lid was on tight. Drain it out. And these aren't easy to get out, but you want to be very careful not to pull on these and rip the leaves. So what I like to do is push one of them down. They're in 2 clumps here. Push one back to pull the other one out. I really don't know how they get these in here. So I just like to open them up a little bit and just make sure that most of this has drained out. Before I go farther, I want to just share with you the next important piece here, which is choosing the pot that you're going to cook these in. You don't want to have a very wide pot or pan. You want to have something that's more narrow and tall. But what's really important is that you have a pot where you can find a dish that will fit just inside of it like this. Now, in a perfect world, this dish would be a little bit wider and would fit just to the edge of this pot. And the reason why you want this is once you stack the rolled dolmades in here, and they're about up to here, which you want to put a heavy plate on top of it, so that way it keeps it all compact. You don't want the bubbling of the water to make them open up. Okay, so it's important that you choose the right size pot before you begin stacking it in. Before we start putting any in the pot, we want to slice a lemon and put some slices in the bottom, because those slices are going to protect the layer of dolmades that's on the very bottom from the flame. Okay, now you can see that we've got the whole thing layered. It's basically a whole lemon, and like I said, it's going to protect the dolmades from the flame, and that lemon juice is going to come up and help flavor the entire thing. Okay, here we go with our first grape leaf. There are two sides to it. They're not the same. You have the underside, or actually the leaf would be sitting on the tree like this, the shiny smooth side on the top, and then here's the underside, the rough side with the stem sticking out. This is the side that you're going to place the ingredients on before you start rolling. And what you want to do is pinch this little piece of the stem off with your thumb and your forefinger. If you can't do that for some reason, just take a little knife and cut it. Okay. And I'm going to use a teaspoon to take the ingredients out. It'll be basically a heaping teaspoon. You do not want to fill these too much, because what will happen is that they'll bust open, and that you don't want. So you're going to take a heaping teaspoon like this, okay? That's about, if you can see that, that's about all you need, okay? Now you're going to take, you're always working with the bottom of the leaf towards you, okay? And you take the back end of the leaf, fold it forward over the ingredients, just like this. Over the ingredients, covering them. Then you want to take each of the outsides of the leaves and fold them over to the middle. Now right now you can see that these are flared out. We don't want that. We want to bring it in and tuck it in tighter, okay? So that way you don't have any pieces sticking out on the outside when you roll it. So you want it going inwards like this, okay? And then take it, fold it over, and just roll it up like this, okay? There you go. Now, I'm going to bring the pot over here. See, here's the open piece. You always want it, when you stack these in the pot, you want to lay them down so that way it's the weight of it is sitting on the open side of the leaf. You don't want to have it like this where the thing can come up while it's cooking. You want to always put it so that way the last piece of the leaf that you rolled up is on the bottom. I'm going to put it in the corner, and we're going to start stacking them in rows, all nice and tightly packed together. And once we get a few of these done, I'll show this to you one more time. If you come across a leaf that has a big tear in it, just set it aside, and I'll show you in a few minutes what we're going to do with that. Okay, fold it over. Roll it up. And stack it in the pot. Now some of these leaves will be bigger than others, and if that happens, you might use more or less of the mixture depending on the size of the leaf. You're going to get some small ones, and so if you do, you need to back off on the amount of rice mixture you're putting in. Okay, look how perfect that is. I'm all finished and only wasted one leaf, so that's good. So now what I want to do is pour a little bit of olive oil in here. So after we have the olive oil in here, I really want to add some hot water, because I don't want to spend time trying to get this up to temperature and boil on the stove. So I've got, I microwave this water, and we're going to fill it right to here. Now we're going to put the plate on top, take it over to the stove. Got it on high here, and I'm going to put the lid on it. Once we see it start to boil, I'm going to turn it down just to simmer, and then from there we're going to count 30 minutes. All right, it's starting to boil now, so we're going to turn the flame off. We're going to turn it down to a simmer, and then we're going to turn the flame off at 6 p.m. Should be done then. Okay, so it's done now. Remove the lid. And what I want to do is hold this over the sink with the lid on it and drain out any excess water that still might be remaining in the pot. Gonna let it cool, and then we're gonna put it in a serving platter. Okay, everybody, we're finished. I've got it all displayed in the serving bowl now with a little lemon garnish. I would suggest adding more lemon to them after when you serve them. And hopefully the instructions on how to put this together was simple enough for you. Just a little bit time to cut the herbs, but all in all, it's pretty easy. There's another version I'm going to do later in 2018 on how to make these with meat inside as well. But you know, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon to get more updates on more Flannel Guy videos. Thanks very much, and have a great day.